Welcome to Football Fever Daily Breaking News on your channel, Chubba TV, and as always, I'm your host, Chubba. And boy, do we have some massive news when it comes to the Merry-Go coaching round and some big clubs in the A-League when it comes to coaching and contract situations. So I am going to bring the latest information that I have through my reliable sources with some big news on some coaching movements within some big clubs. So stay tuned for that in just a little second. But make sure first you press that like and subscribe button so you never miss a video and you never miss our show, Football Fever, the biggest show in the country, where we bring you the latest on the A-League, the latest on the NPL local competition, the latest on the EPL, and we also bring you the latest interviews with coaches and players and scoops. So make sure you press the like and subscribe button and you never miss the show, Football Fever, on Monday nights at 7 p.m. But anyway, in Football Daily Breaking News, I said I have big news on some big clubs and some big news on coaches' contract situation. Well, I can reveal today the A-League coaching casserole is in full swing and we have the latest. I can reveal with reasonable good authority that Alan Stadich has agreed to a 2-year contract extension with the Western Sydney Wanderers. That's right. Alan Stadich will put to paper, we believe, has agreed to terms for 2 more years at the Western Sydney Wanderers. Also, at the Sky Blues with Sydney FC, we can reveal that Ufuk Talay has committed to a further term with Sydney FC, solidifying some stability in 2 of the competition's major clubs. That's right. Western Sydney Wanderers, Alan Stadich, 2 more years, and in Sky Blues Sydney FC, Ufuk Talay will remain for another term with Sydney FC. That's great news for both Sydney clubs. However, up north, the situation in Brisbane is quite different. Despite securing a win last week, Ruben Zakovic will not be re-signed by Brisbane at the end of the season. And if you remember, and if you had liked and subscribed and been watching our videos in the last few weeks, Football Fever broke that story that Ruben Zakovic at the end of the season will not be let go, and we were spot on. He will be departing Brisbane Roar at the end of the season. Meanwhile, at Wellington, our sources confirm that head coach Giancarlo Italiano, known as the Chef, has agreed a term with the Phoenix, and the deal is expected to be signed later this week. So that's some great news there for Wellington Phoenix fan, that the Chef Giancarlo Italiano has agreed to terms, and he's expected to put pen to paper and sign later this week. As up in the West, for Perth Glory, the future still remains a little bit patchy there for David Zadrilic. It remains uncertain. Discussions are ongoing, but names like Robbie Stanton and Carl Witt are being floated as serious contenders should the club decide to make a change. That's right. Robbie Stanton, who's been let go from the Newcastle Jets at the end of the season, and Carl Witt of Adelaide United are definitely being floated around and are 2 serious contenders if Perth Glory decide to let David Zadrilic go. And I believe that Robbie Stanton and Carl Witt's name probably will pop up as well for the Brisbane Roar job. Both coaches have done exceptional well with youth talent. They've had exceptional results over in the A-League, with Robbie Stanton especially being undersourced a little bit at Newcastle. Carl Witt's done a tremendous job getting Adelaide United to 3 out of the 4 finals. And both coaches have had success in the transfer market, selling players overseas and bringing money to both their clubs. So keep a close eye on Carl Witt and Robbie Stanton, because I don't think they'll be out of jobs very long. And with Brisbane Roar looking for a coaching position at the end of the season, and also it remains a little bit rocky there at Perth Glory with David Zadrilic. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. But in the other news that I broke today, it's great news for both Sydney clubs. I think Alan Stadich, 2 more years at Western Sydney Wanderers, brings some stability. They're running 4th in the A-League this year. I think they've got a huge chance when it comes to the semi-finals to cause some major upsets there, if not even go all the way. So good news there for Alan Stadich and Western Sydney Wanderers support. I think it's a good 2-year extension, and I think it's good moving the club back forward, because they've been a little bit rocky in the last few years, Western Sydney Wanderers, and I think now they're on the track to getting back to where they used to be. As for Sky Blue Sydney FC, again, I think it's a great keeping Ufuk Talay another term. It's a big project Ufuk Talay's taken on at Sydney FC. I believe they will make the top 6, although they're just sitting in the top 6 at the moment between them and Adelaide United. I think Ufuk and Sydney will get in the top 6, and I think it's a good appointment that he's staying on with the Sydney club. But I think for both Sydney clubs it shows stability, and it's good for both clubs moving forward. But once again, Football Fever daily breaking news. Like I said, we had all the news, big news on with the Western Sydney Wanderers, big news on Sydney FC, big news on Wellington Phoenix, Brisbane Roar, and we're also monitoring Perth Glory real closely. But this is the place to be. Make sure you press that like and subscribe button. You never miss a video, because I can reveal today, tomorrow morning, I'll be bringing another huge scoop, another big story when it comes to an A-League with a certain player, a huge up and talent coming player who's having a tremendous season in the A-League. And with a certain club, I'll have a big story coming out tomorrow morning. So make sure you press that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any video. And make sure you tune in on Monday night at 7 p.m. to the biggest football show, Football Fever, the biggest football show in this country. Until then, I'll see you at my next video.